Hey, you guys. Oh, it's foggy. Hang on. Let me clean you off. Is that better? Oh, good. All right. I think I got everything I need. We're going to find out. Hey, you guys. How's everybody doing? It is Tuesday night. This is the live cooking class. Tonight we're making awesomely amazing barbecue pizza. Should be amazingly delicious. A lot of the recipes I'm going to be referring to are in my cookbook. If you haven't gotten one yet, I'll put my email down below and you can email me. They're $32 and that includes shipping. But we're going to be making the sugar-free barbecue sauce recipe, which is on page 34. And then also, you would have had to soak your pizza crust ahead of time. But tonight we're also going to be making a grain-free fathead pizza crust, which is also, that's on page 60 of my cookbook. And I made sourdough pizza crust, but on page 62 is your soaked pizza crust. So lots of options as far as your crust goes. So we are going to start off by making the barbecue sauce. So it's the same process, we're just going to be using it on a pizza, which is amazing. There's a couple of different versions as far as barbecue sauce goes inside my cookbook. This is a sugar-free barbecue sauce, but there's also a savory barbecue sauce. Either one would be good on this pizza. Pretty much anything is good on a pizza. And then you guys should also note that in the sauces, there's also, on page 36, if you have the cookbook, Alfredo sauce. That is really, really good. And down the bottom, there's a variation on how to thicken it up for pizza sauce. So that's super good as well. I think that's it. Well, there's also ranch. You could do ranch too. There's homemade ranch dressing in here as well that you could, it's on page 29, that you could use as a sauce for pizza as well. But tonight we're going to do the barbecue sauce. And it is right there, page 34. All right, guys. How's everybody doing? We're getting a storm here. It's just been raining all day. Hey, Jackie. Back from working on our local elections. Missed seeing you. I missed having you. I was wondering. I was like, is Jackie here and she's just super quiet? I don't know. Okay, so what's up, girlie?
I needed this light.
Oh, you needed a light? Okay.
What are you doing for us?
We are making barbecue pizza. Okay, Jenny says, Isaac's been bugging me to make it after having it down there. So Jenny, the one that I made when you were here was for the crust. It is on page, just a second, let me look it up. It is on page, excuse me, baby girl. Page what?
Page 10 what?
What are you guys doing over there? You know?
They can put 18.
Oh, okay.
They can put a
That's
white
fine.
one.
Okay. So, Jenny, just for reference, the sourdough skillet crust is on page 62 of the cookbook, right on the top. That one's a really fast sourdough skillet. Okay, baby.
I'm tired of it.
Okay, why don't you go over to the other?
I'm sorry.
I know you do, honey, but I gotta make dinner.
I'm just so disturbed with the peen what broke off in the tunnel.
Just go over there with it, okay?
Yay.
Okay. All right, so onward. So what I was trying to say is I'm going to be making my own tomato sauce tonight. When my garden didn't do so well, I wanted to stock up on tomato sauce. But anyway, I ended up stocking up on tomato paste because you could actually take one of these little cans. This is from Walmart, but tomato paste, 6-ounce can. Add 2 cups of warm water to this and make your own tomato sauce. So much cheaper than buying tomato sauce. I think these are like 60 cents a can and tomato sauce is over double that. So anyway, we're going to do that tonight for the tomato sauce instead of following the recipe as far as a can of tomato sauce. All right, let's get to going on it, shall we? I always do the sauce first. I still have my sourdough in my warm oven doing its thing, and that's where he can stay until we're ready for him. I'm gonna move some of my ingredients around here so you guys can get closer here. All right, so to the pan, I think what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and double the recipe. I'm making a lot of pizza, you guys, so, but I'll read you guys off the ingredients just for one recipe for the sugar-free barbecue sauce. And it does store well inside the refrigerator. I'm not going to tell you how long I've stored mine, but it's been longer than a week, we'll say it that way. I pretty much store things in my refrigerator until they either smell bad or they start growing things, so. All right. So, if you're going to use tomato sauce, you need one 15-ounce can of tomato sauce. But like I said, I'm going to convert tomato paste into tomato sauce. Super easy. I just got to go grab some water. Hang on a second. Gotta grab a spoon. Brianna was gonna help me, but then we had this like hilarious oopsie that I'll tell you guys about. That was kind of funny. All right, so because I'm converting tomato sauce into tomato paste, I'm putting 4 cups of water because I'm doubling the recipe. If you're just gonna make one recipe, you just need 2 cups of water. Now I'm gonna put this water over high because I want it to heat up relatively quickly. And we've got tomato paste. I'm gonna go ahead and start adding the rest of the ingredients for the tomato sauce to the water because it's all gonna end up the same anyway. So the next ingredient on the list is apple cider vinegar. And we need 1/3 cup. And I need 2/3 cup. Oh, I got lucky. I'm so excited for this pizza. I love barbecue sauce pizza because it has purple onions on it. It's not one of my husband's favorite pizzas because he doesn't like onions at all, but that's okay. Every now and then I get to make something that the rest of us like, right? Okay, then we need 3 tablespoons of either honey or maple syrup. And I'm going to need 6, so here we go. And like normal, this is the raw honey from Prairie Rock Honey. $50 a gallon. Free shipping over $50 to anywhere in the United States. It is raw and unfiltered. Obviously, I'm going to be cooking it, so it doesn't really matter if it's raw for this recipe, but that is the honey that I choose for my family. They're in Minnesota. They have a ton of really cool products on their website too, which is prairieRockHoney.com. Okay, and then we need 3 tablespoons of unsulfured molasses. So I buy my molasses from Azure Standard, this entire gallon. Now it's been a couple of months, so it's probably gone up, but it was only $21. And this will last me like a whole year of barbecue sauce. We don't really use, I mean, I guess I'll use it for my Christmas cookies as well. I'm going to be making some sourdough gingerbread cookies for Christmas. So I'll use molasses for that. But we don't use it very often. So 3 tablespoons of unsulfured molasses. It does not, on the Azure brand, does not say unsulfured on the label. But when you read the description of the actual product on their website, it does say it's unsulfured. That's all warming up back there. All right, so molasses. The next ingredient is totally optional. I just don't think it tastes like barbecue sauce. So I buy this brand from Azure Standard I could find. I know Kathy, you sent me a recipe a long time ago for Worcestershire sauce. I just haven't gotten around to making it. It's sort of like I have a whole bunch of mustard powder inside my pantry, and I have not yet to make mustard. I keep buying it. So we need 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. And I'm doubling it, so don't get confused. I hope everybody's loving their cookbook. I love it for the most part. I have found 2 really big errors when it comes to recipes, but I'm trying to give myself credit that, hey man, you typed 230 recipes plus all by yourself. Let it go. The errors are with sourdough English muffins and the sourdough tortillas. Both those recipes are up here on the channel though, you guys, so you guys can hop on to the video real quick and get the ingredients on both of those. Okay, the next ingredient is 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. Let's see if I have a teaspoon somewhere. Is this magically? Ooh, I lucked out. It's a clean teaspoon. I can't believe it. Okay, so 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. Next ingredient is 1 teaspoon of paprika. So I have these like little glass spice containers, and I just buy Azure paprika and I just fill them back up. They have really good deals on spices. 1 teaspoon of paprika. And I'm doubling it, so there it goes. Okay. Next ingredient is half a teaspoon of onion powder. And half a teaspoon of healthy salt. We want colored salt, pink Himalayan salt, gray Celtic sea salt, healthy salt. And it's healthy because the colors in there are the minerals that your body needs in order to handle salt without causing issues. So we want healthy salt. Okay, and I said it was a half of a teaspoon of healthy salt. The next dry ingredient is cayenne pepper powder. This is obviously, you don't have to put it in, but I just do like a little dash. The actual amount that my recipe calls for is 1/8 of a teaspoon. Sometimes it's a little bit spicy for my little guy, so I'm just gonna kind of shake a little on top of there, but the recipe, I love it at 1/8 of a teaspoon of cayenne, okay? All right, and then the last ingredient that goes in is Dijon mustard. And that is 1 teaspoon. It's getting ready to boil. We're just about ready to put that tomato sauce in there. Hey, Jenny, are you guys getting snow up there? We're just getting rain here. It rained all day, which is great because we're in a drought, so. Let me know in the comments, Ginny, what you're getting up there. Because I didn't know if it was going that far north. Okay, so I'm behind on comments. Sorry, you guys. Jackie says, I didn't find your garlic butter steak bites and garlic butter pork chops in the cookbook. They did not make it in the cookbook. The garlic butter steak bites and the garlic butter, I think, are you sure? I think maybe the pork chops are in there. One of them didn't make it in there because it actually wasn't my recipe. I made it off of someone else's recipe, so I didn't stick it in there because I copyrighted the book. So if there's a recipe up here on the channel that is not the cookbook, it's because I don't own it. Hey, Carl. Crystal, what is the difference between sulfured and unsulfured? I always hear people make sure it's unsulfured. I believe the sulfured in it has to do with the way it is extracted. It's basically the processing of the molasses. It's the same thing with maple syrup. You have to be really, really careful because maple syrup, they use formaldehyde on the actual tree spigots. And when they do that, it ends up in your maple syrup. So if you're buying your maple syrup from somebody, ask them if they use formaldehyde, because that does end up in your syrup, unfortunately. Not everybody does though. Like I used to buy maple syrup from a guy in Wisconsin. because my parents used to live there, so we used to go back there to visit, and I always bought maple syrup. So guys, I am adding the tomato paste to this because I put the 4 cups of water in here. I'm going to put 2 cups of tomato paste. Now that's doubling, okay? So for a single recipe, it would just be 2 cups of water, 1 can of tomato paste. You sure could just use the 15 ounces of tomato sauce and not even deal with water or tomato paste. All good answers. Anyway, I found a guy in Wisconsin that tapped his own trees and then sold the maple syrup alongside the road. And he didn't use formaldehyde. So I know there's ways to, like, you know, harvest maple syrup with no formaldehyde, and obviously there's ways to process molasses without sulfur. It's just asking the right questions. Okay, so this is going to be soupy because we got to simmer it down. So I'm just going to leave it at medium-high heat, and we're going to keep on simmering. I also have one more jar to add, so I'm going to let that go for a little bit, and we're going to switch over to making the crust. Like I said, I'm going to do my sourdough pizza crust plus a grain-free pizza crust. So let's see. Hang on, guys. Just rain. Jenny says most of today was dry. Rain just started. Oh, man, it's in here. It's raining, sunshine, and 60s. Carl. 60s? Oh, my. We're lucky to have an organic farm called Bosway that does maple syrup. Nice. I think it's supposed to get down to 22 tonight here, Carl. Just a little chilly. And it's supposed to all turn over to snow, so that's encouraging. All right. So this is coming to a simmer. I'm going to stir it a little bit more, and then I'm going to add the 3rd can of tomato paste if it's not thick enough, but there's still some clumps at the bottom, so I'm not totally convinced that I need the 3rd can yet. As it simmers, a lot of the tanginess of the apple cider vinegar is going to also cook off, so that's why it needs to simmer, and it also reduces, obviously. All right, I'm going to grab out some pans. My kids love these pans. I have all of this stoneware in here. I should just use stoneware. I'm going to dust off my stoneware just for you guys. These other ones are stainless steel pans, and there's nothing wrong with that, but you got stoneware. You should use stoneware every now and then, right? Okay. It's supposed to snow here starting tonight to Friday night. Yeah, it's going to be snowing here for several days as well. Just through, I think, Thursday night. Okay, so I'm going to take my favorite fat here, which is lard, and we're going to lard up our pans. Just spread some healthy fat. You could use butter or coconut oil or tallow. All good options. You use whatever you got. Surprised William hasn't been over yet. You know, you guys, last Tuesday, he fell asleep on the couch, so he seemed a little tired today, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's headed that way tonight. We'll just have to see. He'll probably show up when it's topping time just to sit around and eat them. He's a smart boy. So the sauce is gonna simmer for 15 minutes on the back there. I'm gonna need that last can of tomato paste. And then we'll grab my sourdough out of the oven. But like I said, if sourdough intimidates you, there is a soaked pizza crust recipe in my cookbook. But also, it's up here on the channel for free for everybody. So if you're interested in that, it tastes just like regular pizza crust. That's why I love my soaked bread recipes, because it tastes just like store-bought stuff. There's no sour taste like you get with sourdough. And basically you need all the regular ingredients for making a pizza crust, plus raw apple cider vinegar. So it's not too hard. Okay, that's all caught up now. Let's get the sourdough starter out of the oven. He's been just chilling since this morning with the oven light on. So it's been nice and warm in there for him. I say him because his name is Frank. I got him from a friend, and she had him going for 10 years. So he's a really good starter. Anyway, I'm just going to grab a little bit of the starter, and we're going to smush it out onto the pan here. And I like to use my hands, and I just kind of coat my hands in either coconut oil or lard. I know people use rolling pins and stuff, but I don't know. I just like smushing with my hands. I do own a rolling pin, though, so don't feel too bad for me. I just feel like rolling pins are for, like, pie crust and Christmas cookies. Everything else can just be smushed. Now, how thin or thick you do it is to your preference. This is about a little less than 1/4 of an inch thick, I'd say. I'm bad with measuring things, though, so it might be thinner than that. This is a really big pizza stone. But I can guarantee you that this huge pizza stone will be empty by the end of the meal. My kids love pizza. It's one of my favorite things to make. And I feel like we make it a ton in the summer or a ton in the fall or something, and then we kind of like fall off and don't have it for a couple of months. And then I'm like, oh man, pizza. We gotta do more pizza. So out it comes, which is great. I like it because there's so many different variations. You could do that, like I said, the chicken Alfredo pizza, and because I have options for grain-free crust, that helps a lot too. I know there's been like several requests on the channel to make another video on my cavities, an update video on my cavities. Because the last one was like 5 weeks ago or something, or a month ago. So anyway, know that that's on my radar, just in case you're watching this one. It's just around the holidays and stuff. It's just my life is so busy right now that this morning I was trying to take pictures of my cavities, and I don't know if y'all have ever tried to take a picture of the inside of your mouth before, but it's not the easiest project I've ever done. So, bear with me. I will eventually do an update video. I just haven't had the time. It's been kind of crazy. We've had winter storm after winter storm coming in. We've had actual snow on the ground, which is unusual for us in December. And life has just been nuts on a lot of other levels. There, first one's done. Look at that. All right, so usually I take a fork and I poke some holes. I'm just reducing the temperature over the sauce because it's starting to thicken. You guys can even see that on the camera. See how the bubbles are starting to leap up off and they're starting to leave sauce all over my kitchen? We're gonna stir this, but this sauce is getting pretty close to being done. When you stir it and it's like splashing everywhere, no matter how much you stir it, you know it's done. So we're probably another, I don't know, 5 minutes or so away from it being done. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a fork. What I was saying is I usually take a fork and I poke holes inside my pizza crust. And the reason for doing this is that the hope is that if there's any trapped air in the crust or underneath the crust, when it bakes, the air will escape through the holes instead of creating like a huge mountain in the middle of your pizza. All right, so this is going to get baked at 425 degrees on a center rack in the oven. I'm just going to make sure I have nothing in my oven. It's good. All right, we're gonna set this aside. And we're gonna do the second one. This one's a little bit of a smaller one. So I know I said this last winter, but we obviously have a lot more subscribers and viewers at this point than we did last year. So you can count on me doing a cooking class every single Tuesday through the winter, unless my family is very sick, okay? So even when I have a cold, I mean, I have to make dinner anyway, you guys. So usually I will still have a cooking class. Still did the cooking classes when I had COVID. You know, I usually have cooking class every single Tuesday. So if for some reason we become ill with something and I get hit pretty bad, or the kids do and they really need me more than you guys need me, I will post up on the channel announcing that there'll be no cooking class. But other than that, I don't foresee anything else that's going to be this winter that's going to prevent me from doing a cooking class. If you guys have like suggestions, or you want me to take a recipe that you have and make it healthy, you can email me or comment down below if you have a certain recipe that you want me to try to make healthy, or something that you've been craving that you've never made that you want to learn how to make. We could totally wing it together. I'm always open for recipe ideas. I made homemade chow mein noodles the other night. I cheated on my cavity diet, but I had to try them. And let me tell you, they were so amazing. And they were 100% soy free. It was really good. Okay. That one's ready to go. We're going to poke holes so we don't get any bubbles. Pizza crust is like super close because we are throwing sauce all over the place. It's getting saucy. Let's give it a good stir. Let it keep on going. We're going to wait for the oven to be preheated. So in the meantime, we can actually make my pizza crust, which is the grain-free one. I know there's several of you guys that are into making the grain-free ones as well. Hey, second, guys. Hey, Sharon. It's okay that you're late. We're just making pizza. Not dinner, but do you remember those cashew bars we made years ago? I've been trying to find the recipe. You know what, Jenny? Let me look. Because that was not my recipe, but I'm pretty sure it's up on my Pinterest. So I'm going to have to do some digging because that was a long time ago, but those were good. Okay, this sauce, I don't know if you guys can see, it's like launching. Whoa. Definitely done. I'm going to shut it off. I'm going to take you guys for a second because I need to fix my stand because it went rogue on me. Okay, try now. Be nice to the people stand. Okay. All right, anyway, what's happening is it's like the bubbles have gone from peaceful bubbles to launching like rockets of bubbles into the air. So I went ahead and turned off the heat. Now this does thicken as it cools, so don't freak out. But it is, you know, barbecue sauce thickness. Okay. So we're gonna shut it off. And I actually still have sourdough. I didn't even realize I still had sourdough. So we're gonna do one more pizza crust for the kiddos. What grain did you use for the noodles? I used already store-bought noodles. They were noodles, organic noodles from Azure Standard. They were, I think they were einkorn if I remember right. But yeah, definitely had grain in them. They do sell grain-free ones, but I didn't have any of those on hand. So I have noodles here and there. We don't eat noodles a ton, but on nights where I don't know what I'm going to cook and it's like right before dinner. And that doesn't happen a lot because I'm a planner. So, you know, once every 6 months, Mom cooks noodles. Okay, so I just got done putting lard in the steel pizza pan. I'm going to take the remainder of this because there's not enough to split it into two. So this one might have to be a thicker crust. William does not like to eat like the crust on the outside, the thick crust. So I don't roll up my crust and make like a thick dipping crust. William will not eat it. Bree would eat it. Bree eats anything that's that's bread. She eats and eats and eats and just loves bread. She is you guys know Bree, she's my oldest child. She is the one that is on autism spectrum. And so she, when she was little, she had an autism gut, basically, and had severe allergies to wheat gluten. And so she actually didn't have bread growing up until we did the GAPS diet and healed her gut. And now she can have sourdough, and she can even cheat every now and then and have regular pizza if we go out to eat or something, without having severe effects. So that's great. But she just loves bread now, which I like. When she eats and eats and eats, so I'm like, whoa, girl, like you're eating so much. But there's also a part of me as a mom that's like, wow, like because I went through the GAPS diet and I took the whole family through and we put all that work into it. I changed her life forever. Like she gets to enjoy something that she never even knew she could enjoy, which I think is pretty cool. All right, so I just pressed that out and I punctured all the holes inside the crust. As soon as the oven is preheated to 425 degrees, we're going to pop these crusts in there, bake them for about 10 minutes, and then remove them and put all of our toppings on the top. All right, I gotta get one more pan here. Okay, so I have a medium saucepan. I'm kind of wishing I had this pan open, but it's obviously not open unless I dump one into the other. Maybe I'll do that. I just kind of need a pan with taller sides, and that'll make sense in just a second. So we're basically going to melt several different types of cheeses and add coconut flour and eggs and stuff to the pan. And I just need a little bit more room than what that one's giving. So, all right. Just going to check comments, make sure I haven't missed anything. I'm going to lick all the stuff off my fingers. Okay, we're good. Awesome. I'm going to push this to the back because it's really just cooling anyway. I'm going to go wash this pan really quick and we'll be off with the grain-free pizza crust. So I wanted to say that Azure Standard, I love their dish soap anyway, but this lavender fragrance Azure Clean dish soap smells absolutely amazing. I always use their Azure Clean dish soap anyway, but I typically get like unfragranced or like citrus, and I never have tried lavender, and this makes doing dishes absolutely amazing. I'm a lavender person. I love the scent of lavender. So it smells really good and it works great too. And it's super cheap. All right, so I've got my big saucepan back there. I gotta get out my recipe. Hang on a second. So we're going to the breads, crust, and rolls section of the cookbook. And it's on page 60. It's called Fathead Pizza Crust. So there's two versions. The one on the top uses almond flour, which I don't use as much as the grain-free pizza dough crust on the bottom, which is the same crust, but instead of using coconut flour, and you adjust the ingredients accordingly. We're going to be using coconut flour tonight. I don't use a lot of almond flour. I've had people ask me about that before, and it's because to truly remove all of the phytates and like soak the almonds and redehydrate them and grind them. It's just too much. So I just choose to use coconut flour instead of almond flour in a lot of things. It's not that almond flour is bad for you or that the fathead pizza crust on the top is a bad recipe. It's a great recipe. It's just I have a ton of coconut flour in my house because that's what we would choose to use instead. All right, so the first ingredient that's going to go into the pan, I'm debating, do I double this or not? Last time I doubled it, it like filled this whole pan, this whole jelly roll pan up a little bit too much. I thought that the crust maybe was too thick. So maybe I'll do times and a half or something. Trying to figure out what I want to do. Yeah, I think I'll just do times and a half of the recipe on that page. So for a 14-inch pizza crust, you need 4 tablespoons of cream cheese. So I'm going to do closer to 6 tablespoons. We're going to go over medium heat on the back there, okay? The next thing we need is 4 tablespoons of butter, which I forgot. I'm going to go grab some out of the refrigerator. Oh, for any of you guys who are like cooking with me, that barbecue sauce smells amazing. All right, 4 tablespoons of butter. Okay. So we're going to let these two things melt over medium heat. I'm going to go rinse off my spoon. In the meantime, we're going to get ready. I turned on the front burner. Hello. In the meantime, we're going to get the rest of the ingredients for this because pretty much when it comes to this dough, you want to have all of your ingredients ready to go because you have to work quickly before it gets cold. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and put lard on my pan back here because I want to make sure we're ready. But like I said, I always use lard, but you sure could reach for some tallow or coconut oil. I love lard because it works really, really well with cast iron and it works really, really well with stoneware. It seems to like be more of a non-stick situation when you're like greasing up pans for things like bread and stuff. Okay, so I need to go grab, the recipe calls for 4 large eggs. And I just realized I only put 4 teaspoons in there and I'm going to increase this just by a little. Let me add just a little bit more butter. Okay. So I have to go get 4 eggs. I have them in my water glassing solution. So I'm going to go into my pantry, grab the 4 eggs. We can rinse them together and then we'll be ready to go. We're going to see how many of these are actually good. I might have to go back in and grab some more. So this is just starting to bubble back over here. Give it a stir. We don't want to cook the cream cheese to the bottom. So I went ahead and it's on medium heat there. So we're going to take these over to the sink. I'm just going to show you guys this real quick. So hang on, we're going to move. Okay, so when it comes to water glassing eggs, if the eggs are cracked, they are no good. I'm grabbing a container to put them in and go out to the compost. So I reached in and see they're cracked. So no good. No good. No good. No good. This one looks good. So this one has a little bit of slime on it from the other ones, but it's still good. There's no crack, I don't think. Hang on. Oh, no, there's a crack. This one's a good egg. So, cracks in eggs that have been water glassed. I just had this conversation with somebody privately here. Is because of either your chickens didn't get enough calcium, but usually those eggs crush. Whereas if you look at this crack, the egg has expanded from the inside. It's actually like pushing the shell out. And that is because there was too much of a temperature fluctuation with this particular batch in storage. So let me go grab some more eggs. I'm down to like the bottom of a 5-gallon bucket. And so the bottom of the bucket must have had more of a temperature fluctuation than the top, because this is the first like cracked eggs I've come across. I removed the pan from heat, guys. I'm going to keep on grabbing more eggs. I don't want to burn my mixture. All right, got a couple more cracked ones. That one's cracked too. It's like going through a container hoping, it's like Easter egg hunting. It's preheated. Okay, so I opened up a different container and these are in better shape. So I'm pretty sure the rest of them at the bottom of the other container are cracked. All right. Let's move you guys back on over, shall we? Okay. So I moved it from the heat because it was like bubbling and finding eggs was becoming more complicated. All right. Oops, I'm missing comments. Hang on a second, guys. I'll be with you in just a second. All right, I'm gonna put this back on the heat. Okay, we're just looking to get that cream cheese to finish melting the rest of the way. I'm just gonna put it over low heat because it's really close to being done. Okay, and I'm gonna check comments and then we're gonna get the rest of our stuff. Sharon says, I made your bacon liver and onions using chicken livers the other night to surprise my mom, and she loved it. Yeah, chicken livers are amazing, especially when they're made like that. That's awesome. You should try, there's a recipe in here for the crispy liver chips. I know it doesn't sound good, okay, but my kids love those. They come out just like tortilla chips. And if you follow the process that's inside the book about soaking it in milk, it doesn't even taste like liver. And then if you make in here under sauces, there is a nacho cheese sauce on page 35. Okay, if you make that, they have like a little salsa too on the side and some crispy liver chips, they'll all be gone, I promise you. Everybody will eat them. Okay, so coconut flour. This This is just about ready. Okay, I had one more comment. Hang on. Jackie, I glassed a half-gallon of eggs back in early February and haven't gotten to try any. I hope they are good. Yeah. I just learned that you just have to be really, really careful with temperature fluctuations. Last year I had horrible luck. I think half of the 600 eggs that I water glassed were all cracked. And I honestly think last year we tried to go without without air conditioning, and I just think it was just too much. Okay, so this is all melted. It's not combined or anything. You can still see that they're two separate, okay? But to this, like I said, we're going to work rather quickly. You add 4 eggs. But I'm going to add a couple extra because I'm trying to fill the pan that I'm using with this recipe. So I'm hoping to add just a little bit extra and it'll be enough. So with water glass eggs, it's kind of fascinating. Like that one was completely runny. Some of them, you'll go to crack them open and their yolk will still be, you know, pretty firm. But for the most part, when it gets closer to a year of being in your pantry at room temperature, like that glass yolk, that was a nice solid yolk. But after a year into your pantry, it totally gets runny. There's just no way around it. Still tastes good. Still good for all of the things that you want to use them for. It's just definitely runny. Okay, so I'm going to add, the recipe calls for 3 cups of mozzarella cheese. I am going to add a little extra. And I'm obviously going by the handful here. Okay, and I'm going to give it a good stir real quick. And then I'm going to add my coconut flour. And a little bit of baking powder. Now, if you're on the GAPS diet and you can't have baking powder, you sure can just omit it. It still tastes good. It just doesn't get as fluffy. Just a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. Not very much. Another thing that I tried when I was on the GAPS diet is instead of using, like in recipes that call for baking powder, instead of using baking powder, I would use baking soda and then add like an acidic medium to it, like apple cider vinegar or lemon juice, to get it to react, and it actually worked just fine. Okay, so 2/3 of a cup of coconut flour. This is Azure Standards coconut flour. If you don't use Azure Standards brand, it might be a little bit different. So you just have to adjust accordingly. I love Azure's coconut flour, and as long as I can buy it from them, I will always buy it from them. They have a great price on it, and it's amazing coconut flour. I also want to mention, because I feel bad, Kathy, one of our viewers, tried carob powder from Azure Standard, but she bought raw carob powder instead of roasted. So if you're trying to get off of chocolate and you want an alternative, make sure you buy the roasted carob powder from Azure Standard because it actually tastes like chocolate. All right, so this is totally ready to press into the pan. There's 2 ways you can do this. You could either grease up your hands or get some parchment paper and a roller. I'm going to opt for the parchment paper and the roller. I'm also going to put the other pizza crust into the oven at 425 degrees and get those baking. See if I can do 2 at once. There it goes. Okay, timer for 10 minutes. 10 minutes at 425 degrees. And we're going to move this grain-free dough onto the pan there. And get ready to smush it. Okay. There it all is. It's just really, really sticky dough. It's not that you can't push it out with your hands, but I mean, I could show you. It's just kind of more of a mess. You got to keep adding oil to your hands because it's going to get sticky and mushy. It's doable. This pizza crust is extremely filling, obviously. I mean, you guys can tell that just by looking at the ingredients. It's just a whole bunch of protein. People on the keto diet use this for pizza crust. It's good stuff. All right, now I'm gonna go wash my hands. Guess I didn't need my parchment paper after all. That's all right. It's not too bad. All right. So with this grain-free crust, I do like to season this up because I feel like it just tastes like cheese if you don't. So I'm just gonna shake a little bit of basil on there and a little bit of oregano. You could do garlic too. I'm not gonna do very much because we're gonna be putting the barbecue sauce on. Don't want it to taste weird. But I just don't want the crust to taste so much like cheese it's overbearing. A little bit of garlic. There we go. Just a little sprinkle of everything. You could also mix it up in the dough if you wanted to before you roll it out. Either way is just fine. So this is going to go into the oven as soon as we have room. And we're going to get ready to start doing toppings. All right, I want to move you guys over to the table. So you guys we can do the toppings over there. I just think it works better. All right, you guys get to see the dirty kitchen. That was the one thing I loved about the cookbook cover is that it totally shows you that my kitchen has dirty dishes. And if you're cooking, your kitchen will have dirty dishes too, I promise. Okay, so for the topping on this one, I'm going to be doing canned chicken, but you could totally cook up some chicken, or if you had a chicken with some leftovers, totally use that too. So cooked chicken and some purple onion, and then of course the barbecue sauce, which is on the back burner. Nice big can of barbecue sauce. It's like totally pouring here. I don't know if you guys can hear that. It's like letting loose. All right. Hasn't poured here in forever. In fact, I'm so moved by it, we're going to open the door so you guys can hear it. You ready? Watch it stop raining now. There it is. It's just pouring. Crazy. I love it though. I'd rather have that than like 6 feet of snow. All right. I think that's like something that people forget is like I make these videos for you guys, but also for us. So we can look back and say, hey, it rained on December 13th. Which is pretty crazy. Okay, so I'm going to open up my Tattler lids. I love these. If I can get it open. Here it goes. If your Tattler lids don't seal, you're doing something wrong. I love that company. I have had a few do a failed seal, even with the appropriate following of the directions. Yes, the picture on the back of the cookbook is reversed. It had to do with the camera, because you guys can see it right now. But anyway, it had to do with the camera. Bree was taking the picture, and then it went off to my brother to be edited, so it is reversed. I didn't care, though. I was just happy that I had dirty dishes inside my sink for that photo opportunity. My brother said, do you want me to delete all of your dirty dishes? And I said, no, I don't want you to delete all my dirty dishes. It just means I've been cooking. I said, anybody who watches my channel knows I have dirty dishes. All right. Just gonna check on these. Yeah, that one's done. So we're just looking for the sourdough to feel firm to the touch. And then it's done. If you go until the sourdough is like golden brown, it's too long because we're going to stick this back in the oven to toast it. All right. Okay. Uh-oh. Somebody wants into the door. Hang on a second. What's going on, buddy?
I need some more popcorn.
No, there isn't any more popcorn. Mama's making pizza.
Where's the where's second?
Your feet are all wet.
Who's stuck the pan? They have more.
You know what, buddy? I know there's no more popcorn. Because I made the popcorn and there's no more. Not right now. We're making dinner. All right, so I'm just going to top this with the barbecue sauce. I love you. Okay. Sorry you're disappointed. There is a disappointment muscle, so you just need to learn how to flex it. He is not happy. All right. Oh, Lord help us all. Okay. Just gonna spread this on out. The sauce is still really, really hot. Delicious. I wish you guys could smell this. I love this pizza sauce. It's one of my favorites. Okay, that one's done. The other one, I'm gonna go grab it. It's gonna be done as well. Then we're going to start topping these. So I'll move you guys that way. Go get the other one. Okay. The other one. Bring the sauce over. I've used the sauce for pizzas, grilling. What else? I don't even know. Dipping sauce for chicken, all sorts of stuff. And it does freeze really good, just in case you're wondering. It's just this has a lot of sauce. Oh well. One of my friends always teases me that my pizza's in it more like a lasagna than a pizza. No more popcorn. Sorry. Hey, that's not nice. Did you just break something?
No.
Okay. That's not me, and the door's not locked, so chill out. All right, mozzarella cheese going on. You could do do a combination cheese too if you wanted to. You could do, sometimes I do a little bit of Kobe Jack in there. That's good. Just make sure when you're buying mozzarella cheese that you opt, I mean, if you can't afford organic, that's fine, but at least opt for full fat mozzarella cheese. They usually sell it in a block and you have to shred it yourself, but it's much better for your family. On goes the mozzarella. The thing I love about pizzas is there's this initial cook time and prep time. But then once they're together, you're just putting it back inside the broiler on high for 4 minutes. Sometimes it even gets done in 3 minutes. So it doesn't take long, which is what I love. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and put some of the chicken on there. Let's see, ice a little bit of it up. Use my cutting board, and I'm just gonna take some of the cooked canned chicken and just dice it on up. You sure could use canned chicken that you've drained, leftover chicken from something else. Just use what you have. You could also saute some raw chicken in a skillet and put a little bit of barbecue sauce. That'd be good. All right, and then purple onion, which I have to remember not to put purple onion on half of the grain-free pizza for my husband, or he won't be having a very nice night. I always tease him. I'm like, do you want onion? Come on, honey, you want onion? No. Cold day in hell before he eats onion. Okay, so that one's good to go. We'll rotate you guys this way. We'll finish this one off. I got 52 seconds on the next one. Let's see how fast we can do this. So yummy. I also use canned cooked chicken already on my Alfredo pizza, so I would do Alfredo sauce. And usually I do mozzarella and Parmesan on those pizzas. And then for the topping, I do a little bit of spinach and chicken. And that's really good too. My kids love purple onions, so they're gonna get purple onions all over this. I mean, you could add whatever you want to this. Even mushrooms would be good. Okay, I'm going to swap this pizza out. And here, you little mini. Okay, the grain-free crust is going in at 425 for 10 minutes as well. And then that'll be ready. Okay, this needs a little bit more onion. You could do tomatoes on this too. It's just tomatoes are not in season here in South Dakota right now. Just a bit of winter here. So in the summer, I'd totally put some fresh diced tomatoes on here. They're really good. Okay. This one is done as well. Super yummy. Okay. So we'll do the last one, that's sourdough. To the left there. And then we'll get out the grain-free crust. And do the same process with it. I think I'm going to end up having extra barbecue sauce, which I do not mind at all. We will definitely use it up. Okay. Cheese. This is like a little, I don't even know, 13-inch maybe pizza pan, I think. Okay. Add some chicken. This is the we grew this year. This is Freedom Ranger chicken, our meat birds. I think we're going to do them again this next year. We're trying to decide what we want to do. We're trying to switch our chicken flock over to New Hampshires, which are the old heritage meat breed, and actually Bielefelders. And I tell you what, the Bielefelders are actually larger at this growth point than the New Hampshires. So anyway, it still takes, 5-6 months to get them big enough where you could actually eat them. And even then, they're not like a regular meat bird like you're used to. So I think in the transition period, we'll probably continue doing some more Freedom Rangers, but maybe do 50-50 or something. So we're going to try and hatch out some of the Bielefelder eggs and New Hampshire chicken eggs and raise them for meat this next year. Just trying to get more self-reliant and not depend on hatcheries for meat birds. Plus they make great egg layers, so it's a dual purpose breed. Okay, so this is finished. They're all finished. Like I said, these are going to be in the broiler here in about 7 minutes on high. With the stainless steel pans, I do not use the top, very, very top setting on my rack on my oven for my broiler. I go one notch down into the oven, whereas I can get away with going on the top with the stoneware. So I will make that adjustment when I go to cook these. It's just that the stainless steel heats up so much that the stainless steel can actually like warp under that high temperature. So the other thing these pizzas need is a little bit of glitter. So I'm going to choose parsley since we don't have any Italian seasoning on these. I'm just going to take a little bit of parsley and make these pretty, because pretty food tastes so much better than non-pretty food. So we just add a little bit of glitter. There we go. I don't know if you guys are able to see this or not. I'm going to pick it up and show you. I'm afraid if I turn the light on, it's going to get... Let me do that. Look at this. Look, that isn't even baked yet. Gorgeous. Who's coming to my house for dinner? Love pizza. All right. I've got to add a little bit of glitter to this other one. So we'll swap them out real quick. Okay. The parsley just takes it over the top, guys. I will link that sourdough Christmas cookie recipe for anyone who's interested. It's sourdough gingerbread. I'm missing a ton of stuff here. Hang on, guys. Picture on the back is reversed. Okay, I'm not joking. I don't get the joke. Was there a joke? Did I miss the joke? I don't know. I don't even see a joke. Carl, did you type one? I don't know. Okay. Anyway, that's that. We got a few more minutes on the grain-free one. I got about 4 minutes left on that timer. So, while we wait, let's talk about something I got in the mail today. So, move the camera up so you guys can see me. Hang on. Okay, so I know I talk about the Weston A. Price Foundation here and there, but this is one of the reasons why it's really important that you support the Weston A. Price Foundation. It's only $40 a year, you guys, and they use your money to do a ton of research on food and recommendations on food. But also, one of the things you get for the $40 a year is a shopping guide. I just got mine for 2023. This is an awesome little pamphlet. It's totally worth $40, but on top of that, you also get 4 quarterly journals. That is the latest and greatest on all of their research they do on food for you. New studies on all sorts of health conditions. It's just totally worth it. So, but this is the 2023 shopping guide, and basically, what's cool about it is that you can look up different categories. So, like fresh cheeses. And there's all places to order that ship. And they have them listed. Hang on. For like better, good, better, and best. So like for cream, they list all of the best manufacturers of cream. Then you can go down to the good level if you can't afford the best. And then they have a list of things to avoid. So anyway, it helps when you're going shopping and you're just getting into eating clean, kind of what to look for on your store shelves. And if you can't find any of these on the store shelves, then you can order with all the information that's inside your shopping guide. So totally worth it. Usually I end up giving mine away because I buy a lot of things from Measure Standard. And I've been doing this for about 11 years. And so I kind of know what I need to buy and what brands are good and what are bad. Although I will say that every now and then a brand is really stupid and they sell it to, a company like Kraft or something. But for the most part, you're pretty safe as long as you double check. Make sure it's still the same owners. I'm looking for my salt. Here we go. I'm going to use this one. The only thing I didn't do is sprinkle these pizzas with salt. So I'm going to sprinkle them just a little bit. One more pizza back here. And then we're going to get ready because this other pizza is going to be coming out of the oven. Yeah. So yeah, I would look into the Weston A. Price Foundation. That's www.westonaprice.org. They have a ton of information for free on their website. Plus, like I said, if you become a member, it's $40 a year. You get a free shopping guide and 4 huge journals that come to your door 4 times a year. You get one. And it has all of the latest and greatest articles written by doctors on different health subjects. So definitely worth looking into. All right. So we are ready to roll here. I'm going to move this pizza out of the way. I'm going to grab the grain-free pizza out, and we're going to do that one real quick. You guys back down. Okay. Okay, so I moved my oven rack down one for that stainless steel pan. And I'm going to turn the broil on here in just 1 second. I'm going to set a 4-minute timer. And we're going to get this grain-free one all done up in the next 4 minutes. And then you guys can see what a pizza looks like after it's been broiled. I love broiling them. I know some people like to bake them. I just like the crunchiness that you get when you broil something. So this pizza crust is done. It is solid when you go to push on it. My finger's not sinking in. And also right along the edges it started to turn golden brown. I do find that the grain-free pizza crust needs more sauce than a typical pizza because it's a really thick, I don't want to say dense, but it's cheese, you guys, so I'll probably add one more scoop even. I forgot that last time I made this, and I just had regular pizza sauce, and it just seemed so dry. Really cake it on there like you're making a lasagna. You're going to opt for the grain-free crust. Okay. On goes the cheese. I just love that I can still have pizza even though I can't have grain. My stomach's starting to growl. Spread the cheese out a little bit. Okay. Gotta grab some chicken. 2 2 minutes on another pizza. That's how fast that goes. All right. Chopped chicken. I'm hoping it's golden brown and not burned. I'm going to laugh if it's burned, guys, just so you know. Usually 4 minutes is about right. Sometimes it's done in 3. Which means I should check it like right now. It's got a minute left on the timer. Let me check it. Nope. All right, this is my pizza, and I love purple onions, so I'm going to do big pieces. And I have to stop halfway through for my husband, see? So we'll go. It's kind of like the wall. Look, I know he will not eat past there because it's got onions all over it. Yeah, sucker, this half is mine. All right. That's how you ensure your husband only eats half of the pizza, because you got onions all over the other half. All right. If I really wanted to ensure it, I'd put 2 different types of onions on there. And I know for sure I would have. Probably the whole pizza to myself, really. All right, a little bit of glitter. A little bit of parsley. There it goes. Nice and pretty. Give you guys a close-up of the pretty grain-free pizza. There it is. Okay. We are 23 seconds away from a masterpiece. I just rotated the pizza inside my oven because I noticed that the back of it was getting a little toasty. All right. We're going to show you guys dinner here in just a second. How exciting. All right, there it is. Golden brown, guys. Ready to go. I'll put in the grain-free one here real quick. Oops, come on. Okay. 4 minutes on that one. All right, you guys. That is all there is to making barbecue pizza. Hope you guys can see that. It's so pretty. And so delicious. And it would look really good, like I said, with tomatoes if tomatoes were in season. Totally yummy. Could serve a side salad if you want with it. We're just going to pig out on pizza tonight. I think you guys probably can already tell that. But it's all good. It's good, properly prepared dough. Can't ask for more than that, right? And homemade pizza sauce. And I have plenty of barbecue sauce left. So there's probably, I don't know, at least a cup left in that pan. I'm just going to move to the refrigerator and use on something else this next week. All right, I'm going to check comments. So glad you guys are on tonight with me. If it'll load the comments. All right, we're good on comments. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being on with me. Jackie and Ginny, if you're still on. Carl. Who else was on? Sharon was on. Thank you, Sharon, for jumping on. And I hope you guys have a great night. And I will put a pre-scheduled event up for next week's cooking class about what we're going to make and all the ingredients. So keep your eyes out for that. And other than that, you guys have a great night. And I'll see you guys next week. Take care.